Alright, how's it going, everyone? Today we're drilling a hole in the PTU to create our own drain plug to help these changes. This is the first video I've made. I'm not a master mechanic. You know, just work on my cars in my garage. That's pretty much it. So we have a 2016 3.5 Ford Explorer. I kind of got everything set up. I took the passenger side tire off to help me get some just clearance to go under it, and some jack stands all set up. Just kind of go over what I have started so far. Try and get the best angle I can. So, let's see, let me try and get a good angle. So, there's our PTU. You can kind of see the field plug all the way up there. So if you're looking at it underneath the passenger side, you have these two little notches right here, and you got this first bolt right here. For the videos that I watched, pretty much this channel right here was the clearest spot to drill it, because you have a gear on this side and a gear on this side, and right here is kind of just empty. So how I measured it was off of this ear right here. I went about an inch and a quarter, just so you're not in these raised spots. And we have a little raised spot right here, and there's a little raised spot right here. You just kind of want to be right here in the flat of it. Obviously make sure you're past the housing on it. But I seen a couple videos when I was studying this. One guy drilled his here, and the other guy had his way down here. This is my first time doing this, so I'm not an expert on it, but I'm just gonna drill mine right here to start. So what I've started with is I got my 75 140 Valvoline to go in it. I went to my local hardware store. I'm going to use a 7/16 drill bit, and I'm going to use a 1/4 inch NPT tool here, and then I got my 1/4 inch NPT drain plug that I'm going to use. So I'll get started here in a second, and guess we'll start with drilling, but I'm going to drill a pilot hole first with the smaller bit to make it a little easier, and we'll see how it goes. So alright, so after further investigating, someone mentioned this, and I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but for where my black hole is, my black marked, where I'm going to be drilling, you can see below I just kind of scratched the surface. That's as far as I can get to the dot without this Y pipe being in the way. So I think just to help out this process and kind of drill right there where I'm comfortable, I'm gonna drop the 4 bolts that hold the Y pipe on. So I'm gonna soak these in some PB Blaster for a minute and drop the Y pipe, and I think after that we'll be ready to drill. Yeah, just a reminder, like, this is my first time doing this, so I may explain something wrong or maybe do something that someone would have done different, but I'm just trying to help out the best way I can. So I'm going to drop this Y pipe, and I'll be back. Alright, so I ended up removing the Y pipe. Bolts are pretty rusty and not the funnest to get off, but it definitely made the world of difference. So now that I got my spot marked and I can get to it, I am going to drill a pilot hole, not all the way, but at least halfway, and then I'll grab my main bit and drill all the way through. So I'll get that started and show you what it looks like. Alright, so I have my pilot hole drilled, and you can kind of see here's the ear. I'm just right here in this groove, right below this hump, not in that hump, just right here in the middle. You can see my field plug up there. I went ahead and loosened that so I can do it with my finger once I drill the hole to help the fluid drain easy. So now that I got my pilot hole drilled, which drilled fairly easy, I didn't have to put a lot of pressure on it, I'm going to get my 7/16 bit and drill it all the way. We'll see how this goes. Alright, so I got the hole drilled. You can see it's draining. Now that it is draining, I'm going to go up here and take this fill plug off and see if it helps it drain it all. And there it goes, it is draining. So I'm going to let this sit here for a while till I don't see any more coming out, and I'll come back and clean up these threads or the hole and get ready to tap it, thread it, drill and thread, however you want to say it. Alright, so I got my hole drilled. Let it sit for about 15 minutes to completely drain out. Now I'm going to get my thread, my 1/4 inch MPT thread, and get this threaded. I'll probably put some Teflon on the bolt itself just for protective measures, and I'll show you guys the threads once I'm back. Alright, so I got the hole threaded. Try and get the best angle. You can kind of see the threads up in there. The process took a little bit because I would start threading it till it got tight, back it off, clean all the metal pieces off the bit, put some WD-40 on it, go back in a little bit more, back it out, clean all the little metal scraps off the threader. Probably backed it in and out at least 5 or 6 times. You can see my 1/4 inch MPT bit here. I just put the end of that in a socket, and then with my extension, the Y pipe out, I was able to just, get that up in that hole. Sorry I couldn't record the video. Don't have a GoPro or nothing. It's all from my phone. I just wanted to make sure I drilled that up straight. But so I got that ready. I got my 1/4 inch MPT with some Teflon on it. Switch hands here. It's a little tight fit because they're new threads, but you can tell that that's just tightening right up in there just perfect. So I'm going to get that in there and probably get the Y pipe back up and probably lower the car a little bit, and I'll show you what I use to fill it through the fill hole up there. So trying to explain everything the best I can. If you guys have any comments, I'll do my best to answer them, but looks like I have definitely a leak somewhere else, so I'm gonna have to investigate because I have a lot of dry oil somewhere. So, but one project at a time, so I'll be back. Alright, so I got my Y bolts back on. They're Drenchen PB Blaster. These nuts on these were 15 millimeter, if anyone was wondering. Definitely had to put a cheater bar on them. Let them sit and soak in PB for a little bit. You can see my drain plug is threaded up there. Went in nicely, seated tight. Still got the fill bolt out. I'm gonna get these off stands and lower it as much as I can. Just to leave me enough room to get in here and fill it up. I got my Valvoline right here, and something I bought that is pretty nice is I got this little pump top that'll screw on top of these bottles, and I just have to pump the top and it'll put the fluid into the PTU from the ground. So get the car lowered, I'll get these going and show you the fill process. Alright, got the car off the jack stands, got it slightly lifted just a little bit here so I can get in here. I got my 75/40 bottle right here. I'm gonna place it. Let me see. Let me run this up. All right, now I just gotta fish this up. Let me get this up here real quick, and then I'll put the camera back on. I'm gonna pause this for a minute. All right, you can see the hose up there in the fill plug. I got my bag here. I'm just gonna start pumping. Hopefully that stays in there. There's the fluid. There it goes, we're filling up. I'm gonna fill that until it slightly starts pouring out. And just make sure my drain plug's not leaking. But I'll fill this up and I'll be back. Alright, so I have my, you can see it's leaking a little bit out of the fill line. It took about 70% of that bag, maybe 60% before it started dripping out. I know it's supposed to be level, so I'm just going to wait for it to stop leaking and put the fill plug back in. If this is your first time doing this, these fill plugs have a magnetic tip. You're most likely going to see this just gunked up with metal shavings that you're going to want to really clean off, so it looks like this. Metal thread, I mean metal little shavings are a little normal, but definitely clean that off before you put it back in. It looks like it's stopped dripping for now, so I'm going to put this fill plug back in. This is just a 3/8 inch ratchet head to tighten that. Probably put some new Teflon on it. Tighten that up and that should be it. So if you guys have any questions, like I said, ask them and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching. Alright, got the drain plug in. Car's back on the ground. Harbor Freight jack stands didn't fail on me. Didn't have to go to a Chris Fix-It video. So we're gonna take her for a test drive, bring it back and just make sure nothing's leaking, but should be good. Alright. Back from the test drive. See how everything looks underneath. Looks like nothing's leaking. Smells a little awful from all that PB blaster and fluid, but that everything looks good, so hope this can help some of you guys change this. And really wasn't that hard, just time consuming. Overall about an hour and a half, and that was drinking a few beers in between and just checking stuff out, so went pretty well.